What's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 news and information video. I hope by now all of you guys are thoroughly enjoying your playthroughs throughout Kingdom Hearts 3 so far. I know for me personally, I'm absolutely loving the experience. I still have quite a bit of content to bang through, but I gotta say that Kingdom Hearts 3 is shaping up to be an absolutely awesome experience for me thus far. So hopefully you guys are feeling the same way. Today for you dudes, I wanted to talk about a few important things to do with the game. And even though Kingdom Hearts 3 has of course officially released, that's not to say that there's going to be no more news videos on the game. We also know that Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't the final Kingdom Hearts installment in the franchise, so for videos in the future, obviously we will be covering news and information towards whatever else happens for Kingdom Hearts' future. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about some interesting stuff to do with DLC, critical mode, as well as the sales of the game, as we do have the very first set of figures towards how Kingdom Hearts 3 is currently performing sales-wise. So the first thing I want to talk about today is DLC. We've known for quite some time that Tetsuya Nomura does have an interest within DLC for Kingdom Hearts, and that is acknowledged over the years that of course modern day games, seeing as we do live in this digital era, tend to usually contain pieces of DLC, and Square Enix are certainly no strangers when it comes to the DLC scene. Now this is definitely something that we have been worried about for quite some time, considering that Kingdom Hearts has never really been in that age where it's received downloadable pieces of content. Considering that the last major installment was Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PlayStation 2, obviously disregarding any of the HD remixes. However though, for the likes of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5, we did actually see downloadable pieces of content added to that game for the likes of Kingdom Hearts 1 Theater Mode, and an additional cutscene for Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. These weren't paid pieces of DLC, just free additional pieces. Now we've seen the way that DLC can be treated these days, and I'm not saying that absolutely every single game developer out there is doing DLC wrong. There's definitely a good amount of them that are doing DLC right. But with that being said, there's also a decent amount of developers out there that are just flat out doing DLC wrong, and I think this is where our worries step into play. For me, I've always said that I don't exactly want a major DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 that's going to take away from the main core experience. I don't want any plot holes when I'm going through the game that will later on be answered through the use of DLC. So long as we don't have any funky stuff like that, I'm perfectly okay with the idea of DLC, and we also have to keep in mind that Kingdom Hearts in the past has sort of technically had pieces of DLC, even though, like I said, we haven't really had a major installment since Kingdom Hearts 2, and obviously the digital era back then wasn't banging left, right, and center. The final mix versions of Kingdom Hearts can almost be considered DLCs for that of Kingdom Hearts. Even though, yeah, you have to go ahead and purchase like the entire whole game again. This was sort of the way that Square operated around the use of DLC back in the day, specifically for that of Kingdom Hearts. So I also hope that if we do see DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, which at this point it's pretty damn likely, I hope it will be smaller editions. But we do have some news from Tetsuya Nomura talking about DLC with Famitsu. Famitsu said, "Moving on, I am interested in whether there will be any extra story or battles available as DLC after the release. Tetsuya Nomura said, right now staff are taking a break and I can't speak of the details. Nothing has been decided, but if we do have paid DLC, I'm thinking about offering one piece with deep content rather than several fragments of things. Also, I'm considering some free downloadable content separate to that. Well, I'd rather prioritize the next game than work on DLC for a long period." So I think this plan is honestly pretty damn good. I do want DLC for Kingdom Hearts as much as I am someone who might be a little bit worried about the idea, just because it is quite foreign for Kingdom Hearts, disregarding the whole final mix thing of course. But I definitely like the idea of receiving one thick, juicy piece of DLC that of course we will have to pay for, and then multiple other smaller pieces of content that will be handed out for free. Now the major DLC, the one that we're going to have to pay for, the one that Tetsuya Nomura has described as being one that is deep with content, we don't know if it's going through because obviously Nomura did say that there is no real details, as nothing has been decided. Again, I really do hope that it's not some sort of an episode where it fills in some missing points that weren't explained through the base story of the game At this point, I haven't actually experienced the entirety of the story or anything, so I can't say if that could possibly be the case for a DLC. I would like to have an episode DLC that is maybe something that is self-contained, that either takes place in its own time frame or maybe takes place sometime after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. Nothing that is directly needed in order to understand the entirety of what is going on in KH3 to make it a complete experience, if that of course makes sense. Now the smaller pieces of DLC though, Nomura did say that if they are going to do this, they're going to hand these pieces out as free downloadable pieces of content, which is always cool to see. Nomura back in June of 2018 did actually mention that obviously the customizing for your character is not present within Kingdom Hearts 3 like it was in 0.2. In 0.2, we had the wardrobe option, which upon completing objectives within worlds, you receive cool little pieces of like clothing and accessories to customize Aqua with. Now this system, like I said, isn't in Kingdom Hearts 3 obviously, but Nomura did mention that something like this could possibly be added to the game sometime after release. So we could see something like the wardrobe system added to that of Kingdom Hearts 3, although I honestly do feel as if that would take a lot of work, especially adding in like the extra little things you'd have to do in order to obtain the different pieces of items that you can customize your character with. And whether or not that would be handed out as a free DLC, I really don't know, but it is a possibility. There is also other things like extra little mini games they could add, DLC keyblades. I think the idea of a DLC boss, so long as it makes sense, would also be a cool idea. And while we are on the topic of smaller pieces of DLC, that brings me over to the next part of this video. Critical mode, as you guys know, has since Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix become a staple point difficulty of the Kingdom Hearts series. A lot of people like the idea of critical mode because they like the challenge. And a common thing that is said with the Kingdom Hearts games is that generally they are pretty easy action RPGs, and I will admit, yeah, if you're playing on both beginner or standard, and sometimes even proud mode, Kingdom Hearts can actually be quite a straightforward game. That's why a lot of people like to have critical. Kingdom Hearts 3, strangely enough, doesn't have critical, like, whatsoever. Not at all. Now, most of us were thinking that, okay, this makes sense, don't worry, you'll just have to finish Kingdom Hearts 3, then upon finishing the game, you will unlock critical mode. Similar to the way that it worked in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, you simply had to do a playthrough of the game first in order to unlock critical mode. But even that is not the case. Critical mode is nowhere to be found in Kingdom Hearts 3 whatsoever, and I know a lot of people are a little bit disappointed about this, considering that I have seen some reactions and posts out there with some people saying that the game is a little bit too easy for them personally, and that they would appreciate that extra edge of difficulty with that being critical. Now, from my personal experience so far, I have to say that I have found the game fairly easy. Now, I can't make a final judgment call because I'm yet to play through the entirety of the game, but I am playing on proud, and I have found that most scenarios that I've been through so far are pretty easy. I think also for the longevity of the game, it would be a good idea to also have critical mode in there. I really do hope that through the use of small pieces of downloadable content, critical mode is definitely one that comes through for the game, just because there is such an outcry for it at the moment. And it's super strange considering that Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a game that used the technology of Kingdom Hearts 3, also had critical mode if you finish the game. So why they couldn't just use the critical mode that they used in 0.2 with all of the values, and if tweaking needs to be done, then so be it. But why they didn't use that for Kingdom Hearts 3, I really don't know. Again, I feel as if critical mode will be added in later on through the use of smaller DLC to, I guess, give reason of people to come back at that point to play through the game once again. And last off for today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the sales side of things to see exactly how well Kingdom Hearts 3 is performing, at least in the first week of it being on sale over in Japan. So of course this is not taking into account sales around the world, but only Japan within the first week. Kingdom Hearts 3 has sold a total of 610,077 copies within its first week in Japan. Now that's actually pretty damn good, and obviously I'm expecting Kingdom Hearts 3 to be the best-selling Kingdom Hearts title out of the series franchise, just because solely this is the first HD Kingdom Hearts title. That, and it's also on 2 systems this time around, and not just one. But looking at the broader spectrum, that's actually pretty damn impressive, considering that within Final Fantasy's first week of being on sale in Japan, it sold a total of 694,206 162 copies, which is obviously just a little bit more than that of Kingdom Hearts 3, and just considering the sheer amount of popularity of Final Fantasy within Japan, Kingdom Hearts 3 is performing considerably well. Also, of course, keeping in mind that Kingdom Hearts does also have a pretty big popularity over in Japan too, seeing that as of right now it's performing to that of the same degree as something like Final Fantasy 15. That's awesome to see. But anyway guys, that is pretty much all for today's news and information video. Again guys, I hope you are enjoying the Kingdom Hearts 3 experience so far. Hopefully the adventure hasn't been too emotional for you guys, and that, you know, you're keeping everything together at this point. In the comment section down below guys, as always, be sure to share your thoughts and opinions. With that being said though guys, I'm Cynical, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stunning. Gold in my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crate, gaming up the bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.